What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Mike Widmer with the Expansion Real Estate Group. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to this month's edition of the monthly market update. You guys are all having an amazing start to October. It's October already. You know what that means? Fourth quarter, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. In the next 90 days, we might as well hit fast forward on our lives for the next 3 months. But I'm excited to dive into the data today and see where we're at with this real estate market. Okay, here we go. Our Cromford Market Index. Again, 25 years of data here, but we're looking over here to the far right-hand side. And you can see that the trend line has continued to go up. So that is good news for us. I'm going to get a little bit more detail here in a second, but we ended last month at 77.7, and we started this month at 80.7. So a 3-point jump in the Cromford Market Index, which is, again, good. We're going in the right direction. But if we zoom in here on our daily chart, you can see we haven't had this happen yet. So we've been, again, since July, we hit the bottom at 71.9. We've been, pretty steadily going up. And right here in September, we actually got up as high as 81.8 is the highest we got. And since then, we've actually dropped down to currently we are sitting at 80 on the Cromford Index. So we're actually down 2 points in the last about 2 weeks or so. And the reason for that is our inventory is rising. We talked about this all summer long, that summer's kind of its own special little thing. Kids are off school, people are on vacation. There's just not a lot of listings going on. And then in the fall, that picks back up, and that did. Last month, we had 18,249 active single-family homes, and today we have 19,152. So that's a 5% increase in inventory, not a decrease, right? The last 6 months or so, we've been talking about a decrease in inventory. And in 1 month, we jumped up 5%. So you can kind of see that over here. Last month, we were sitting at 97.1 on the listing inventory, and we jumped up to 99.9, which is, again, remember, in all these indexes that we talk about, 100 is exactly neutral. So listing inventory is actually right where we want it to be. So that's a good thing to know, is we're not, skewed any which direction. It's just over here, our demand is still fairly low. But the good news is demand did go up. Last month we were at 78.7, and this month we're at 80. So again, only 2.3 points up on that index, but again, going in the right direction. So all good things there. And then I wanted to show you guys one other thing. I showed you guys this last month because this entire market is really, relying on what interest rates do. And last month when we were on the call, we talked about the Fed had a meeting on September 17th to lower the rates. But I warned you guys saying that they usually have a fairly good idea where it's going to be at ahead of time. And then they actually priced in that price cut before it happened. So you can actually see here, this line going up and down, this is the day they cut the rates. And the day they cut the rates and going forward, it has gone up. Again, this is that 10-year yield, which is not the exact interest rate, but it kind of determines where the interest rates go. So you can see the 2 weeks prior to the rate cut, the rates really came down. So good news is we are over here now. We're not quite as low as we got down to, but there's about a 95% chance that the Fed will lower the rate on October 27th, again, a quarter point. So hopefully what that means is we're going to see a downward trend somewhere around here until the 27th. And so if you guys are thinking about locking in a loan, if you guys are thinking about maybe locking in a refi, somewhere around that October 27th date might be a good time to lock in. Because again, usually once the rate cut hits, they've already priced it in, and then it goes up a little bit after that. So again, just things to kind of keep an eye out on. The main topic I want to talk to you guys about today is this isn't a brand new law, but it's new this year. And it's actually very, very exciting. There was a House Bill 2720 that has to deal with ADUs. That term's been going around a lot more the last couple of years. And an ADU is an accessory dwelling unit, which means a smaller property on your property. This new law that all cities have to comply by 2025, which is this year, now within their, their city regulations, they have to start to adjust their regulations, their permitting of what they'll allow on lots. So Phoenix is by far the most farly advanced in the, I guess, the most maybe potential there. So Phoenix has already got their laws changed, and they will allow for sure 2 accelerated units on your property, and potentially even 3 with the right permitting, if the space allows for it. So you could potentially have a single family home with 3 dwellings, extra dwellings on there for rental income. Or again, in this day and age, as we have a growing population that's older and older, maybe a family member needs to stay in there, or even your kids, as things are so expensive. There's so many different opportunities out there for you. Chandler's doing great. Gilbert's been fighting it a little bit, but it is it's a state law, so they will have to comply. But just different cities have their own regulations to get in place. But what an opportunity to potentially take the home that you already have, that you're living in, or a rental unit that you already have, and add a unit to it. And if you guys have been, on the social media platforms, I'm sure you probably have seen all these different companies now. Boxable, there's that Boxable Fancy I see the most, but they're prefab tiny homes, and you can get a ton of them for under $100,000. So if you can put it, the rules here too is they can't be more than 1,000 square feet. The ADU can't be 1,000 square feet over that, or at a maximum 75% of your thing of the original property on the property. So if you have a 2,000 square foot home, you can still only put 1,000. But if you have 1,000 square foot home, you could only put a 750 square foot house on there. So again, just another opportunity, something else to think about in this market, as the rates have been kind of high, and buying a whole other home as an investor hasn't made a ton of sense lately with the negative cash flow. But this is an opportunity for you guys to get into being basically, having your home become a mini investment property without doing anything else. So just something to think about. All right. So as we kind of wrap up this video here for today, as far as buyers go, the demand is coming up, but also there's the inventory. So there's still plenty of choices out there. We're still seeing buyers getting sellers to pay for their closing costs. We're still seeing a ton of negotiation. I really still believe these next 3 months are going to be a great opportunity for buyers. As far as sellers go, the same thing I said last month. If you're selling your house, make sure it's dialed in. Make sure it's the nicest home on the block. It just has to be, or else you have to be priced extremely competitive to get that house to move if your house needs, to be redone. So that's it. Have an amazing October. Have an amazing Halloween, and we'll see you in November.